Trump has cut my food stamps from $2,800 down to $350. Now, what am I supposed to do? Huh? So I literally just got this piece of mail today saying that due to new policy changes from the Trump administration, all this shit, whatever, that all these cuts and whatever he's doing over there, now they're telling me I have to go work. Now I have to go do all this. Well, I literally got 5 kids. Okay, I'm trying to sit here and spend time with them. I'm not trying to go work, 50, 60 hours a week so I can pay bills. I just really don't understand. I voted for him this last election because I thought what he had good was going on, but now all of a sudden, all this policy stuff's coming out, and now he's making all these cuts, and now he doesn't want to help the less fortunate people no more. I'm done with that guy. I'm not. If he gets voted in again, I'm leaving this country. Because I'm not dealing with this no more. This is all shit.
This is the problem that we have in America. This is one of the biggest problems that we have in America, that you have people who are able-bodied. This guy looks like he's able-bodied, who are so entitled. They're so used to the gravy train. They're so used to the federal government and just the government in general, whether that be state, federal, whatever, local government, of taking care of them, that they don't want to work. They are entitled. They feel entitled to the taxpayer base while not contributing to the taxpayer base. Well, I'm sorry. They feel entitled to the taxpayer money while not contributing to the taxpayer base. This is the problem in America. This man has 5 children, but doesn't want to work because he'd rather spend time with his children. And listen, when I first looked at this video, because I cannot believe that this is a real video. When sometimes you watch a video and you can kind of tell, it just doesn't seem very convincing. You can just tell that the video is fake. This is the kind of vibe that I got from this guy. Maybe he did this to rage bait. He also mentioned about whether that he voted for Trump and that if he gets elected again, he's not going to, he's going to leave the country, which I'm going to talk about that. But let's be honest. These are the type of people, and this is why I don't think this guy actually voted for Trump, because Trump had been saying this since day one. That's first of all, right? He never hit the ball. He said what he was going to do. He was going to cut all this stuff, waste, fraud, and abuse, which is what you're committing, right? Because you have 5 children and you think you're entitled to $2,800 in just food stamps alone. Now, I'm assuming he's getting help, for his living expenses, house, or bills, whatever. He's getting some kind of subsidy from the government every month to live the life that he wants to live, because he doesn't work. And food stamps alone, $2,800 in food stamps alone is not going to take you through the month. For food, yes, but what about your other bills? So he's not working. So the government's probably paying his rent too, paying the rest of his bills, and probably giving him cash assistance on top of that, so he can use the cash to buy whatever it is that he deems fit. But that's number one. Number two, I don't believe this guy voted for Trump for the simple fact that he doesn't even know. Like, everybody knows that this is Trump's last term. There's no other term. He cannot be elected again. He cannot be elected. Has to be a troll. He cannot be elected again. This is his second term. He's 2 and done. That's it. It's over with. And then the funny thing about this was that he said, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. If he gets elected again, I'm gonna leave the country, which tells you he's not leaving the country because Trump cannot be elected again. But let's just say that was the premise, that Trump got elected again. Where the fuck was this guy gonna go? He was gonna leave the country to where? To get welfare from where? What other country does he think is gonna give him the same kind of welfare that he was getting from America, and be cool with him not working? I want him to point out the country that's gonna give him those benefits that he is now losing because Trump is trying to get rid of the waste, fraud, and abuse. What country is going to give this guy a visa? Him and his 5 children, and I'm assuming his wife, who probably also doesn't work, is going to give these guys a visa for them to go live there off of the taxpayer dollar and not have to contribute to anything. There's no country in the world that's going to do it. So if he was going to leave America, I don't know where he was going to go. Maybe to Mexico, he can drive down there, but he will soon find out that the Mexican government simply does not give a fuck about illegal immigrants. They don't care about the legal ones. The Mexicans are trying to get them out of there, but that's a topic for another day. But this gentleman had a follow-up video talking about this where he shows the proof of him losing the $2,800 because, again, this looks like a troll. But even the second video is not convincing. But we're going to watch it. We're going to give our reaction, and we're going to talk about this because this is absolutely insane. And this is what I voted for. This is what I voted for people to get off the government's tit and actually have to work. Go get a job. You shouldn't be living for free just because you and your wife are popping out children left and right. That's not what the assistance is supposed to be for. And it's supposed to be temporary, not for you to live on for the rest of your life.
Trump has cut my food stamps down from $2,800 down to $300.
If you guys can see it right there, I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but it literally says this changed from your previous total monthly benefit of $2,822. And now his new current SNAP food stamp benefit is $281, and he's getting $70 in cash assistance. You see, I told you he was getting cash for a total of $351 a month.
$150. Okay, my previous video of me trying to expose all this corruption going on in the Trump administration.
It is not corrupt for the government to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. This is the logic that he's using. And the Trump administration is now corrupt because they took his money away from him. Well, not his money, the taxpayers' money. And gave him what he should be getting every month. Because this is supposed to be an assistance. It's not supposed to be something that you stay on for the rest of your life. It's supposed to be temporary, but our government has gotten so bloated, so big, so just over complicated that they have made these programs permanent for everybody to get on and for the tax base to subsidize these people's lifestyles by popping out children.
I got nothing but a bunch of hate for it.
Rightfully so.
Everybody tell me go get a job, go do this. You know, I'm lazy, I'm useless. But at the end of the day, none of you guys know my situation. Okay, most of you guys have never been probably lower class or ever been poor or ever been through any kind of rough situations.
You know, I want to point something out right now. I don't know if you guys can see the truck in the back, but I don't know much about trucks, but people in the comment section of this video on TikTok were talking about like, oh, how are you saying you're lower class, you're poor, you're all this and that, but you got a $70,000 truck sitting out in your backyard right there. And I asked myself the same question. You know why? Because like I said, the government pays for everything for these people. So even if they work, whatever work they do or whatever cash they get, they use it to spend it on expensive cars. I've seen a video of a black lady saying that she lived in the project, she lived on Foodstamps, she lived on this, but she was driving a Tesla. She was driving a Tesla. Most people can't afford a Tesla. How was she affording a Tesla? Living in the projects with government assistance. And the people were rightfully so to call this guy out and tell him to go get a job. Go get a job, man. Stop being a leech on society. Stop being a loser in life. Is that the example that you want to leave your 5 children? Is that they don't have to work hard. They don't have to be anything. They just have to pop out children and live off of the government for the rest of their lives. Is that the example that you want to set for your children? I mean, obviously so, and he's talking about, oh, you know, some of you have never been poor. I've been poor, and even I know that I shouldn't live off the government for the rest of my life. I've never gotten any help from the government. The one thing I get from the government now is because I earned it. Let me be fully transparent here. If you've known me, I've mentioned this plenty of times in my videos. I'm a disabled veteran. I'm 100% disabled veteran. So the government does give me a check every month for my disability. Doesn't mean that I don't work. And now I'm currently not working because, like I said, I'm living in Panama while I finish out my master's program. But it doesn't mean that I didn't have a job previously. When I got my disability, I was working. I had a job at Verizon, then I went over to T-Mobile. I was working part-time or going to school full-time. So it wasn't like I was just taking the government cheese, the government money that the government gives me. By the way, it is earned, not given. That I earned. So it's not just, hey, I'm getting free money, because I served my country for 11 and a half years, and I paid with blood, sweat, and tears for me to receive whatever I receive from the government now. So, for those of you who want to criticize in the comments, you cannot compare the situations. Just giving you a heads up. My point is that just because I receive a check from the government every month does not mean that I will not also work for the rest of my life. I'm finishing my master's program now. Once I'm done, I'll be joining the workforce and trying to better myself and become a contributing member to society. And that's all there is to it. But I've said enough about this guy. I've said enough about this, in this video. I'm gonna wrap it up here again. This guy is living off the government, but has enough money, I guess, to afford a $70,000 truck. I don't think he's a Trump supporter, because Trump was saying he was gonna do this. And honestly, this all might just be rage bait. But who knows? I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts, and I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, before I forget, if you like the video, please like, comment on the video, and share the video. And if you got any videos you want me to react to, my email's in the description box below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.